Hey everyone, welcome back to the Word Podcast. Just wanted to take a second to thank you for tuning in. It means a lot, and we are so glad that you're striving to learn more and to listen to these conversations. I know you'll enjoy our guest today, all the way from California. Okay, welcome Megan. Thanks so much for taking the time to be on today. You're one of the busiest people I know, but thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You're so busy with the company you work with, getting married, and just being awesome. It takes a lot of time. Believe it or not, when I wrote you down to be on the podcast so long ago, I wrote you down with your maiden name. That's how long ago I've been meaning to do this with you. So we have a bit of a theme for our podcast today, requested by the listeners. So after doing an Instagram poll, I learned that people want to talk about feeling insecure. So how that is the constant state that they're in, and they want to know how to break free from that. So we are
good, yeah.
both, so I'd say we're both pretty confident people, but everyone has obviously walked through a time where they were probably insecure, and it's something that can come and go very easily. So I just wanted to,
for sure.
so I just wanted to take the two of us kind of tackling this as like two Christian women and what the Word can say about it. All right, so let's just kind of jump right in. With the first question of the podcast, we ask everyone, what is your favorite word in the whole wide world?
That is such a hard question for me to answer. I was thinking about it and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I've never thought about that ever in my life, but it's so cool to like sit and think about that because there's obviously so many words.
So many.
I think after thinking about it, I think intentional is my favorite word. I feel like I use it a lot and it's something that I'm always constantly trying to be in every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
Being intentional, obviously, in my faith and in my walk with God, but also in my friendships and just in anything that I'm doing, being like intentional and being like present in the moment. It's something I've struggled with a lot in the past and I'm trying to work on. So like right now, I think specifically intentional is like my favorite word.
That's so good. That's a deep word too. And I can't stress enough, like words carry everything. And the way that you speak impacts both you and the people who hear you. I think a word that's been great to me lately has been worthy. And I think part of its necessity in my life is due to the stems of, unfortunately, comparison and envy, kind of going back to the whole insecurity thing. Just like kind of being real here, I often find myself comparing or jealous of people I often don't even know, like what they have, what they're doing, and that's definitely one of the dangers of social media, right? And I kind of have to like remind myself that my life isn't meant to look like the person I'm comparing myself with. Like I don't have as many followers, or why can't I be chosen for this? And like this spiral of me does not allow room for God to say, hey, no, look at me, not at them. So the word worthy, it just means like I'm worthy of what Jesus died for me. A life that doesn't, where it means like I'm not looking left and right, but one where I'm looking up. So definitely worthy. Thank you. Little rant.
I love that. No, that was really cool.
Thank you. So I've been following you on Insta for a couple years, and I've seen how hard you work with the company you're a part of, and just like how much positivity you spread. So thank you for that. And congrats on all the milestones from like honestly one small business owner to another. It's incredible to see. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your company and how you've been doing with that?
Yeah, sure. So I work with a health and wellness company and I have absolutely loved it. It's been something that's been so far out of my comfort zone. I've been working with them for 2 years now and when I first jumped into it, it was so terrifying and going with what we're talking about, like I think everyone has insecurities and like I've had so many insecurities in this business, but learning to like grow into who God has called me to be and through this business and just trusting him in that And just being able to see the fruits of that, not only for myself, but through other people I've been able to impact through the business. It's been so incredible, and something that, like, I'm just so, every day I'm so thankful that I have it, because, yeah, not only, like I said, it's completely changed my life, but other people's lives as well, and I think we all would love to make an impact in people's lives, and so this has been a really cool vehicle for me to do this, and then even meeting people like you, where I'm like, and we live in different countries, like, how cool is that, like, that we can connect through, like, social media and stuff, and I would have never probably done that without stepping outside of my comfort zone,
That's
with my business,
good.
and so it's so cool, to, like, God has such an awesome story that he's written for us, and so it's cool to see it, like, being played out for sure.
Exactly. And like, I know you said you're going on a trip soon because of your company and you've got like awesome
Yes.
cars. Like, that's just seeing you work for all that is just incredible. So I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. So kind of moving on, we've had some questions come in from some of our followers. So I asked, what are your biggest insecurities on an Instagram poll? And I got lots of responses. So obviously they're confidential, but I'll read some of them out and we can talk about it. Okay. So, number one, someone said they are insecure about the little amount of money they make when they compare themselves to their friends who are the same age. Interesting one. Meg, do you want to go first with this one?
Yeah, I can honestly relate to that, even in, like, where I'm at in my stage of life right now. A lot of my friends, I just recently graduated college, and a lot of them are in, like, their careers, and they're working full time, and they're, like, able to kind of live their life where money's not a huge issue for them. But for me right now, I'm as Avery mentioned, I newly got married, and so that adds a whole other, like, thing of finances, but I'm also still in school, and so my business is awesome, and that's, like, really what's carrying me through everything, but other than that, like, I don't work, and so it, like, having that huge, like, comparison of, like, like, my friends, they get to do whatever they want to do, and they don't have to worry about their money, and they get to go on trips, and they get to go to concerts, and, like, all these things, and even just literally just this morning I was looking on Instagram, and it's so easy to get wrapped up in the comparison and feeling insecure because of what you see through social media, but there was, like, this huge concert in town that was yesterday, and I obviously would have loved to go to it, but I don't have the money to pay for things like that, so I didn't go. And then I was seeing all the cute pictures, and I was like, gosh dang it, I would love to go to that, and just comparing myself to my friends, but knowing, like, that, like, what we have from God and the money we have is from God, and he's given us specifically what we need for our specific purpose and right now, and that's not a forever thing either, that we go through stages in life, and we also never know what's behind the scenes of people's lives, even if they're some of our best friends, like, you never truly know, like, even if they're seem to be doing well financially, or maybe they seem to be loving their job, you just truly never know, and just being grateful in what God has given you, because like I said, he has the purpose for you, and he knows exactly how much money you need to do what he's called you to do in this specific moment in time.
That is so good. I don't even know how to follow up on that. I guess I have, like, a verse here. So the one I would turn to is Matthew 6:24, which is, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." So kind of what you were saying, like, it's so easy to say, like, oh, just don't care about money. Because, like, money can help create a comfortable life, no doubt. But it's where we're coming from at, like, a heart level. And if you don't think you're making enough money, you need to ask yourself, okay, like, why do I need more? Is it for, like, status? Will my status of money in this world glorify God? Or are you coming from a place where, yes, it'd be nice to make a little more and I'll strive for that, but I'm content in this season because it's exactly where I need to be. So that's so good. It definitely develops character when we, like, struggle a little bit too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Like, God doesn't like learning to not have the instant gratification. And I think that this world
Yeah.
is so, has become that. And just to be patient and to, yeah, trust. Because it's hard,
Yeah.
easier said than done.
Oh
But
my gosh, I know.
just to like constantly remind ourselves of that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That was a good one. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Okay, number 2. Someone said, I'm insecure about never finding a spouse. All of my friends are engaged or married, and I often feel alone. Okay. Do you want to go first again?
So I I feel like I related to that so much through I'm obviously married now, but I can relate to that so much through up until when I was married. A feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna find the one. And almost I think for me it became some like idol for me. Marriage became
Yeah.
something I really idolized, and I had to break that down and be like, okay, ultimately, like that's not what I need to be striving after. I need to be striving after like my relationship with the Lord, and like if I never get married, like not I'm not saying like obviously everyone God's called everyone to different things, but
Yeah.
like even just being like content in that and knowing like God has a plan for me, and he uses that time of singleness in such a fruitful way if you let him.
Yeah.
And just preparing yourself to be the person that you're like the person your spouse wants to marry
Yeah.
when you, if that makes sense. I don't know if that was clear,
Exactly.
but
No, it
like
does. Totally.
yeah. And so I think for me, like the biggest thing for me was like breaking down that idol of marriage. It's so easy to, especially in a Christian, the Christian world, I feel like marriage is put on this pedestal.
Yeah.
And yeah, to be break it down and be like, yeah, that's not what is the most important thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my
Yeah.
answer to that.
No, that makes sense. And like even just like the whole Christian thing where it's like, hey, like go to college, you like date a guy, you get married like right out of college, and it's like not everyone's path is the same. But it's so
Yeah,
easy to like compare yourself to that standard. But yeah, obviously mine is not looking like
absolutely.
that. So we will see.
But that's
Yeah.
what's so cool though too is like everyone has their own story and their own journey, and when you end up getting married, like you're gonna be so thankful that that was the person you married, and like
Yeah.
that timing was the timing it was, and like there's not gonna be a regret in that when that time does come, even though the
Yeah.
waiting is feels so painful sometimes.
Yes. And yeah, I guess I will add like the line of 1 Corinthians 4:5 to that, which is love is patient. And that's the cliche line, but this verse like dives deep into what love is and what love isn't. And it's important to note that the first line talks about how patient it is above everything else. And I actually have this verse
Yeah.
hanging in my room, like right where I can see it, because of the weight it holds. Like however I feel, I look to it and see the truth. So that's, yeah, love it.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I've heard that verse a million times, and I've never really thought like, yeah, the first thing it says is love is patient. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
be patient in that.
it
Yeah,
is
that's good.
so good. Okay, so we have one more question for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What is your favorite verse in the Bible, and how has it carried you throughout your life so far?
So the first verse I would think of would be Romans 5:8, which is, but God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And I, I would say I've known like the Lord, I've known Christ my whole life, but I don't think I really truly was saved, and like truly like understood the gospel and committed my life to Jesus, probably like a little like almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And my life completely changed in that moment, not in the moment, it was a period of time I'd say, but
Yeah.
I think at that time, that verse like really stuck out to me of like, wow, like I am a sinner, I'm a bad person, and the only way that I can be with Jesus and like accept this is just to be fully dependent on him, and to acknowledge what he's done in my life and like the weight of that. And that like he died for my sins, and how good he is for that, and how undeserving I am. And so I think that was really a verse that really drew me to him as I was really like giving my life over to him. And then it's still been something that has had a special place in my heart just because of like the transformation it's done in me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. And I love the verses that like keep bringing you back. Like they kind of just like ground you so much. And oh, that's amazing. Oh, so this has been so awesome, Megan. Thanks for making this episode so memorable and fun. Keep cool in California, and we will chat soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.